Now if you do notice any water dripping out of here, the last thing I want you to do is tighten this up any tighter. I don't want to use channel locks and take the chance of cracking this. So I'm going to show you what I do to make the leak go away. I'm going to take this little roll. This is called Teflon tape. You need a little roll of this. It's always nice to have this handy. It works out really well, as you will now see. In order to use the Teflon tape, we've got to unscrew this again. Now remember, before you unscrew this, we've got water back in here. So we've got to slide our little bucket back over here and loosen this up and let the water drain back out. Some of it's going to spill on the floor, but most of it's going to be okay. And you can wipe that up. The main thing is we want to catch most of it, dump that water in there. It's kind of tricky to put this on. It's just thin little tape. It's called Teflon tape, and this you put on the threads. You kind of have to hang on to it. It doesn't want to slide around. Try to put it on there nice and straight. You don't want it to overlap each other just yet. You're going to kind of keep it tight. We're just going to wrap it around the threads. Now do you see how this could help stop the leaks? Works out really well. And sometimes I just put this on just to make sure, so I don't have to pull it apart another time. This Teflon tape doesn't cost very much, and when you have it wrapped around a few times, you're good. And you can just pull this and break it off. You're going to wrap it on there. And the important thing to remember when you put it on is you want to wrap it the same way that you're going to tighten it. So do you see how I'm putting that on? I'm still putting it so the end of the tape is still going this direction. So when I put the nut on, the nut's going this direction, and that's going to help tighten that on. If you put this on backwards, the opposite direction, as you tighten the nut, it's going to loosen up all of your Teflon tape. Hopefully that kind of gives you the idea, and you know what I'm talking about there. And watch this little segment a couple times and you'll see what I'm talking about. Since I got it on there, I know as I tighten that nut on there, it's going the same direction as the last little bit of Teflon tape. Don't do it the opposite way, or you're just fighting yourself and all this is going to unravel. Okay, so I'm going to do that on this threads, and I'm also going to do it on this one. I'm gently wrapping this around the same direction. You also may want to know that they have Teflon tape that's wider than this, a lot wider as a matter of fact, but our threads aren't very wide here. So I'm using this. You can overlap a little bit, but I like to use the thinner stuff, and then I can kind of graduate it on down. Okay, I'm going to snap that, pull that off, and I'm just going to kind of clean that. I want to make sure that my edge doesn't overextend into this area here, because that's where the little nylon bushing is going to fit. I want to keep these areas nice and clean. If I get the Teflon tape there, that could cause it to leak too. So just watch what you're doing, be careful, and that's what this is going to look like. Now you're ready to put this on. I'll bet you it's not going to leak. Okay, tighten this back up by hand. You'll see there's a little bit of nylon thread, nylon tape extending over. That doesn't really matter. That's underneath the sink. And now we can put this back on, snug it up kind of like we did before, raise this up where you think it needs to be, and tighten it down by hand. Don't tighten it with a big wrench. Tighten it as tight as you can with your fingers. Okay? That's what you want to do if it's still leaking without the Teflon tape. Okay, snug that down. We're going to run water through this again, shine a flashlight on here. Chances are everything's going to be fine. Now if it's something else, it could be that your trap is broken, your nut is broken, and it's got a hairline crack in it that you can't see. The nylon bushing has to be replaced. I mean, there's several other things. I'm trying to give you a quick and dirty on how to do this. I don't want to go into too much detail. That'll be in another section with how to install faucets and all that kind of stuff. This is just for your trap. If you can't seem to feel like this is tight enough, you can use your channel locks, But once you get your channel locks on there, you only want to turn it just a little bit until it feels snug. Now you may have to use channel locks if these are metal threads or a metal P-trap, and tighten it up. So there is a time where you're going to need to use your channel locks. Just don't over tighten things any tighter than you can, or you're going to run into problems.